Welcome to Wedding Day Podcast with your host, Sonia Babich, CEO of Iron Diamond Media, a leading wedding resource featuring 7 localized wedding brands across the country.
Hi everybody, Sonia here with Wedding Day Podcast. We are here in Lake Oswego, Oregon. My co-host today is Lauren, editor-in-chief of Oregon Wedding Day and Washington Wedding Day, and the first time you all are meeting her. But we're sitting here with Cassandra Kennedy, and she's the owner and lead artist of Cassandra Kennedy Beauty, and she's been doing this for 2 decades. She's like, before dinosaurs were here. And we're just so excited for you to meet her. I think we're gonna have a lot of giggles when we hang out with her today. So, well, thank you for being here today and also, making us look beautiful for the podcast today too.
Thank you guys. It's fun. I love it.
So you've been doing this for 2 decades. You've seen a lot of changes in beauty. But what I love is that you, nowadays people are getting inspired from Instagram, where you were inspired by magazines and fashion, and I think you still are, right? Right.
So I'm from the before times, the 19th century. But yeah, when I was coming up, we looked at fashion magazines, and I love art. And we looked at, real people on the street, and there was no Instagram. Lots of books and stuff, And so there weren't any tutorials, and you had to look at you look at Jane Fonda's Barbarella, and they're like, how did they do that? And you had to just get in there and try to get that look,
Mm-hmm.
Or Vermeer's girl with the pearl earring, she just incandescent and just glowing.
Mm-hmm.
How'd they get that look? There wasn't any tutorial, and so I'm glad about it, because you find your own style, and you really have an original way of seeing things. And
Mm-hmm.
now, Instagram is so fun. You get to see your favorite artist really putting makeup on someone you never could before. But it kind of homogenizes everybody, I think. The Instagram look, everyone starts to look the same.
I know, you said that. What do you mean by that? Well, how do you think that everybody looks the same?
Bridal, for example, if you just look at, I'll look at a bridal artist page, and they just all are kind of variations on a theme, And the same with Instagram and stuff. They all kind of have this look. Mm-hmm. There's a little variation, but everyone's starting to look really the same, and it's disturbing. So
Mm-hmm.
I think the artists that I love and that have always loved, they're from the before times too, or they're in a foreign country and they're not doing that.
Mm-hmm. So when a bride comes to you and she says, that's the look I want, that's the sameness of it that she's interested in, how do you dissuade her from that? Or how do you decide to kind of push her maybe out of her comfort zone?
I don't want to push anyone out of their comfort zone,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to get to the essence of this person.
Right.
And so I want to see, I have a 3-point matrix in my mind. There's her in her real life, how she does her own makeup when she's going out or something, and then there's her inspiration photos and the link to that, and then there's me and all my kind of original ideas for her. And so we've got to kind of mix those together and create something original for her. So it's just I allow a lot of time, and I tell her let's just experiment with stuff, and we try lots of different things. And so it's kind of we're driving to a destination, and we kind of know it's up there on that mountain.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But how are we getting there? We don't know. So we'll go down little paths and be like, oh, terrible idea, and come back. And so by the wedding day, okay, we know exactly where we're going, but oftentimes we end up, I end up surprised, the client ends up surprised, we try 4 different lip colors and wipe it away, but the stain that those 4 left behind is so lovely, and we're like, oh, look at this. She's like, this is literally perfect. I'm like, okay, well, mix those, apply, and remove on the wedding day. So
that's what's so fun about, you know, your job and your role in this. And like when you were doing my makeup, we were geeking out over blush because I'm obsessed with blush blindness. And you mixed a bunch of colors together for me, or a couple colors, which I didn't even know was possible. So
me either.
Yeah, like just the fact that you're in there, like. No.
So I don't label colors or like, you know, this one is Charlotte Tilbury Fluffy Girl or whatever. They're just all in the palette, and I know which ones are shiny, which ones are more opaque, and, you know, I experiment a lot, so I know like a little this, little that, and a dab of that is going to be like the perfect coral or whatever. And so you really get to know your kit, and I don't have any eyeshadows labeled or in palette. They're all just there, and I know like this is a fleshy shimmer, right, or this is like a cocoa brown. In my mind, I have them labeled. I know what they are, and kind of break away from those. I mean, those are great for a consumer and stuff, like this is my color, you know, but artists, I like when it takes a while to have the courage to just break out of that and mix and match, and you know.
You were saying like also like bridesmaids, like because of Instagram, like everybody looking the same, but also it's like a bridesmaids kind of going away, like more individual looks are coming more in, or what are you seeing more with the bridesmaids look?
Well, I think like back when I started, it was so there was no option, but everybody matched, you know, and that was the norm, right?
That was me.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm guilty.
Mean, yeah, me too. And there might be like one had like a one strap or something, like variation, but everyone had the same color and material and stuff. And I think there's just been a rise of like individualism, and I think that, I suspect that trickles down from the luxury industry, where there are stylists to help guide, you know, the bridal party to have a cohesive look, but everybody's different. It's more exciting and more unique. But I still think there's a variety out there, you know. But like I did a wedding on Saturday, and the bride was so chic, and she just said to the bridal party, like, you guys know it's like black tie, cocktail, wear whatever you want. I don't care. And she's like, I thought about giving them like guidelines, like colors and stuff, but she's like, they all have a great sense of their own style, whatever. It was a real variety, and they all look great. So, you know, some brides have a vision, you know, and the wedding is a little more classic or something, and I think, you know, the bridal party looking a little more similar, like matches the vibe of the thing. So it's kind of all over the board, but it's nice. I think back in the day, you didn't really have license to do that, and now people are just doing whatever they want.
Right. Do you ever get in a situation like, oh, you are looking too much like the bride?
Oh yeah, we had that on Saturday. Her sister was like, I want a slick back and up to it. I'm like, your sister's having that, and you look just like her.
Yeah.
So, but I think it would look good on you. So the hairstylist was like, what if we just did a sleek pony coming down the back? You know, but you still get that slick back, and like, she's like, oh yeah, I like that.
Do you still think that's going to be in for a while, the slick back look?
I'm
liking the 90s hair right now. Like, I'm like having straight, I'm like, thank God it's in again. You know, like not like such the tight, like bouncy curls or the beauty waves, but do you still?
I think for some types of events and some types of brides, that is their version of classic. Like this bride I'm talking about, she had a little bit fuller hair and stuff at the trial. And I could tell she was just like, and I was also like, And so, you know, time's up. You send her home, you're like, no, you're staying. Like, what if we do this or that? And then I just pull it really tight. She's like, oh, I love it. and it really suited her face shape and stuff. That's not for everybody,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, when you're doing those trials, like, do you have a sense, like, do you want my opinion, or because sometimes do they want your opinion or not want your opinion, or I'm sure it depends on the client.
I think you have to make an atmosphere that is collaborative and open. So I don't ever express my opinion like, oh my God, I love it, this looks so good, because they might look in the mirror and think, I don't like it though, and they don't want to hurt your feelings or something. So, but if it's like a definite no, I'm just wiping it off. She doesn't even say, I'm like, absolutely not, we're not doing that. But so, you know, I'll say, okay, we're gonna look in the mirror now, and then let's talk about what adjustments we want to make, or we'll check along the way. Let's look at these eyes. Are we feeling this liner? Do we want a little more wingy? Do we not like the wing?
Right.
So it's more like we. And, you know, sometimes they're like, what do you think? I'm like, I like it. You know, it matches your coloring nicely. You know, you could do a little more X or sheer it up a little. So they're like, let's try that. You know, so I'm suggesting things they can easily hook onto, or make an atmosphere that they can express themselves, you know?
Yeah.
And I also say, like, okay, even when we're done, you know, you got to sleep on it.
Sure.
And then we'll talk about stuff you think of later. Like, it was just too much blush. Or like, I think I do want the darker lip, or whatever. And sometimes it's game day feel. That bride, again, she looks so pretty and fresh and lovely. And she was kind of on the fence about, you know, individual faux lashes, very natural. And I thought she just looked good without them. And I showed her in the mirror, and she was all delighted. And I said, do you want to still do the lashes, or you want to just, she's like, I kind of want to just leave it at like this. And I'm like, all right, great, let's go.
Let's do it.
So, you know, sometimes they're just feeling something else. They're like, I want to do it X, Y, Z, you know? And I'm like, great, let's do it.
Yeah.
So this isn't like a tattoo. Even the hairstyles, sometimes I just change. You know, I want to have my
I love that
natural hair pattern, or what. I'm like, yeah, let's get the curls in here. You know, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
But I think when I was first starting out, you know, because we go over it and over it in our mind, I'm like, okay, and then we do this, and then we do this, and we study the face chart, and we're like, that would just throw me off my game. Like, oh my God, what? We're changing the lip. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Right.
And now I'm just like, yeah, girl, let's do it. So, you know, it takes time to just let go of those things. And sometimes it's something I personally loved. And I'm like, goodbye, beautiful updo. No one's ever going to see that, but it was good. And that's, you know, that's life.
So where do you find your inspiration? Is it like Instagram, or like who do you follow, certain people?
I mean,
like,
my favorite artist is on Instagram from the before times, Patty Dubroff, and I've taken her workshop twice, and she did Sophia Richie's makeup for her wedding. She's Margot Robbie's artist, so anytime you see Margot on the red carpet, you know, all the Barbie stuff now is Wuthering Heights. So I'm like,
she's everywhere now.
Yeah, that's Patty's work, and it's really like skin forward. It's really beautiful, and she really shows restraint, you know, like everyone was like, what foundation did you use on Sophia Richie? They couldn't wait to find out. And then she was like, I didn't. She didn't use any.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, yeah, I love that.
yeah.
So you know, there's a few artists that I love, but most of my inspiration is from just being in the world. Like, I love looking at paint chips in the paint store. I went to a fabric store, and I saw these beautiful Liberty of London fabrics, and I was just like, oh, and I just, in my mind, put that on someone's face. These like coral and aubergine patterns. I'm like, that would look so beautiful on a person, you know? Flowers, the color of flowers in nature, or just sometimes like I'm looking at my kids at dinner and just the way the light is hitting their face, it's just a natural highlight. I'm like, love that, you know? So I'm just like taking notes of all kinds of things. And movies. I love fashion shows, you know. I think those are important to follow because they are ahead of the game. They're already, you know, bridal tends to be like a step or two behind, you know, because it has to trickle down. So if you want to see what's next and what, you know, look at fashion and stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Was this something that you always knew you wanted to do, and were you playing with, you know, your mom's makeup when you were a kid? Or?
So my mom was a hippie and we lived like totally off the grid, but that did not stop me.
Totally off the grid.
Yeah, we lived out in the middle of nowhere, but I literally was like crushing up berries and dandelions, putting it on my friends and stuff. I think I just always was attracted to those things.
Yeah.
And my grandmother was very, very glamorous, and a lot of people in my family are like, you just her like reincarnated, you know. But I didn't have that around me at all, and I still just loved it. I mean, I got Jello powder and made a lip stain on my little 6-year-old friends. I'm just like, ooh, that kind of orangey pinky. Even just a popsicle, the way it looked on your lips, you know? And I'm like,
yeah, the orange.
Yeah, that looks so good. So I think, prom night, you know, I'm just like, all my friends lined up, I'm going down the line. So I think I was always that friend, but I didn't think it was a real job, you know? But I didn't know. I just thought, you just sell makeup in Macy's at some counter.
Or Avon or something.
Yeah. And so I was like, no, I'm not doing that for a living. But, you know, it's like the call of the wild. Can't stay away after a while.
Did you just make that noise?
Oh. Yes. Totally.
So being like, just again, skin forward with beauty, I'm sure you prep your brides like how to do the skin prep, right? What are your recommendations to get the skin ready to rock for your wedding day?
Oh yeah, well, I personally take a long time on the skin, and
I noticed that today. I was like, what are you putting on me?
That wasn't even a long time. I mean, if it was your wedding. But I learned that from Patty. She's like, just put it all into the skin, and that really changed the look of my work, like kind of made it level up. It just, everything will look good if the skin looks good. But, you know, like our best friends that we never get to meet are the estheticians, man. I've seen people come with literally a new face, and I'm like, what? Oh my God, it's just plump and, you know, smooth, and they're like, oh, I had a series of 3 facials. I'm like, yes. But you know, everyone's different, and so I'll text you some recs, you know, girl, you gotta buy XYZ. Oh, you need this, trust me, you know.
I feel like just sexy skin right now is like the trend. Taking self-care of, you only get it once.
I mean, I've always been into it. So it's fun to finally see like what we're into and what we're doing, like kind of come into the mainstream. Because we were doing that, you know, 10 years ago, and it was like Sharpie brows and baking and extreme, you know, contour glam. We're all fresh and skin focused over here. Like, sorry, we're not doing that.
Yeah, so we're not baking anymore.
But celebrities like Hailey Bieber, you know, she had a real fresh look. Sophia Rich, they kind of like ushered that in to like mainstream bridal, and I'm like,
well, I'm excited that smoky eyes are coming back, so which is why I asked for it.
You're like, come on back, baby.
my college eyes are coming in force.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yes. Oh, well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Like, we could talk to you forever.
Obsessed with beauty.
It's fun. Thank you for having me.
And just overall, thank you for being a great supporter too of Oregon Wedding Day.
God, I love it. I do.
I think every trip now, the last 2 I've been with you, I'm like, okay, you're kind of stuck now. Sorry, but not sorry.
Great. No, I love when you guys come, and we need to show you more of Oregon's beauty.
Yeah. Well, you make everybody look beautiful, so thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning into Wedding Day Podcast. We'll see you next time. See you. Bye.